Hi everybody and welcome to quite a chilly recommend special on Westbury Whitehorse. In front of us here we've got not one but two bikes from Vitus, both of which have made it into our recommend section on the site.
I'd like to say it's not really the white horse, it's the dark grey horse, but if you didn't know, road.cc recommends is our curated list of the best stuff that we've reviewed. A lot of cycling gear is good these days, thankfully, but bikes and kit need to be really good to make it into recommends. If you want to see what's currently in the list, there is a link popping up now, probably up here or there, and also it's in the description below.
Yes, it is. Now, Vitus has been knocking it out of the park in recent years with their bikes, and their models have regularly made it into our Bike of the Year roundups. And since we've launched recommends, it's been the same story. Now here we've got two bikes, both reviewed by Stu on the site. This is the ZX-1 Evo CRS here, which he called an absolute rocket ship, and the Vitesse Evo over there, which he said was an absolute belter of a bike. Now, from someone that's reviewed literally hundreds of bikes for us, that is high praise indeed.
We are going to be having a look at these two bikes to compare and contrast them a bit. What's so good about them and which one would suit your needs better. They're both designed to be ridden quickly on tarmac, but as you'll see, they have different strengths.
They do.
Now, which one would you go for? Let us know down in the comments below. Right, Dave, let's dive into the bikes. Let's start with your bike there,
okay,
the ZX-1.
So the ZX-1 Evo. Now this isn't the first ZX-1 that Vitus has made. 3 years ago, we reviewed the original model, and that was pretty well received around these parts. This Evo version has built on that foundation, and it draws on some of the biggest trends in road cycling right now. Unless you've been living in a cave for the past 5 years, you'll know that integration and aerodynamics have been huge themes in road cycling, and the ZX-1 gets fully integrated cabling with a Vision Metron integrated bar and stem up here that routes everything through the head tube. The frame has been fully optimised too. Vitus worked with aerodynamic engineers at Silverstone Race to design the new frame set that it claims offers 18% less drag than the previous ZX-1. Everyone loves the stat. The new Evo frame on this bike and the one on the Vitesse Evo are made in a true monocoque one-piece mould, which is another difference between these bikes and the older models. There's no joins, that means less carbon can be used, that means weight savings, as well as more strength and stiffness built into areas that really matter, like the bottom bracket. This is a bike that puts you in a pretty racy position. After all, there's no point having a super aero frame if you sat up into the wind. So the stack to reach in the medium size is 1.4, which is what you'd expect from a bike designed to go fast. And boy, does it go fast. Stu said that the ZX-1 is in true superbike territory when it comes to all-out speed, and that's without sacrificing too much comfort. I mean, it's not like riding a magic carpet, this is a performance road bike after all, but it delivers all of the stiffness it needs without being harsh, even on the stock 25mm tyres. If you want a bit of extra cushioning, you can get anything up to a 30mm tyre in this ZX-1 frame. Because it's nice and stiff, it's great when you're climbing or sprinting. It's a punchy sort of bike that makes you want to get up out of the saddle, give it a little dig. No power ever feels wasted. Stu said that the ZX-1 Evo was just a class bike to ride, a real joy, and he never tired of it. The ZX-1 is designed more with aerodynamics in mind than weight, and at a touch over 8 kilos, you're not going to have the UCI commissaires coming knocking. Even so, the ZX-1 Evo feels really responsive. You don't spend all your time blasting along empty roads, and when you're travelling through urban areas with loads of traffic lights and roundabouts, those constant efforts to get back up to speed never feel like a chore. Now, £4 isn't small change for sure, but you're getting a lot for your money here. You're getting Shimano's Ultegra Disc Di2 group set, which is almost indistinguishable from the top Enduro Ace that the pros use in terms of how it performs, and you're getting a race-ready Reynolds AR wheel set too, with a 58mm front rim and a 62mm rear. Everything you need to go fast straight out of the box, except pedals, obviously.
Okay, let's switch our attention to this bike, the Vitesse Evo. Again, the clue's in the name. The Evo is a redesigned frame for this year, Vitus says it's refined the geometry, that's race fit they're calling. That means a longer top tube, a lower front end, and shorter chainstays than the previous model. All of this means a low slung aero position that feels more urgent and aggressive than the old one. The stack to reach ratio of the medium bike is barely any more upright than the ZX-1 at 1.41, so it's a very purposeful position for riding quickly. Vitus also says that the new bike is a lighter and stiffer frame than the outgoing model. We love a number here at road.cc, and the numbers are a claimed 34% increase in stiffness and a 10% drop in weight over the previous model, thanks to a refined carbon layup. That stiffness was immediately apparent to Stu when he tested the bike. It's a really responsive frame with a short wheelbase and sharp steering. And when you stamp on the pedals, there isn't a hint of side-to-side movement from the massive bottom bracket. It feels planted on quick descents, and when you push the bike hard into a bend, there's no flex-induced understeer, and no chatter either under heavy braking or steering loads. Like its aero sibling, it's a firm ride as you'd expect from a bike that's designed for racing at a high level, but it's not a bike that beats you up. There's enough compliance to make a great companion for day-to-day riding. And again, you can fit up to a 30mm tyre and sometimes even a 32, depending on the tyre and rim combination that you're using. No doubt about it, this is a great bike to ride. It's not a cheap bike, but you're getting pro peloton levels of performance for considerably less than you're going to find them elsewhere. It's not just a great bike for the money, it is a great bike full stop. This build that we tested is 3,199 quid and comes with a new SRAM Rival ETAP Access group set, which we've reviewed separately. That group set brings the benefits of SRAM's wireless shifting down to the 3rd tier, and it really is excellent. The main penalty over the higher end group sets is weight, but this build in a medium weighs in at just 7.7 kg, so it's half a kilo lighter than the ZX-1. So 2 bikes then that are both excellent, and in many ways they're very similar. Yep. These are bikes designed for going fast, and if you turn up at a race on either one, you definitely look the part, but they are different, and which one is going to suit you best?
Well, firstly, let's look at you. What are you like? What's your riding style? Take me, for example. I'm a big rider, and so my overall system weight, that's me and the bike put together, is much higher than Liam here. That means the weight difference between the 2 bikes is quite a bit less as a percentage of the overall, and as such, it's not quite as important. Liam is quite a bit smaller, like the size of a small child, really. You'll notice he's made me stand downhill from him.
I've gone uphill. Thanks for that, Dave. But I am all about mixing it on the climbs. That's where my strengths lie and it's what I enjoy doing. Whereas Dave, he's just a track bully who hides in the bunch and tries to like nick it in the sprint. So for Dave, the ZX-1 would probably be the best fit. He gets those aero gains at the point where you really need them, and that's when he's sticking his nose in the wind. I'll take the Vitesse, as I prefer that sprightly feeling of a lighter bike heading uphill. And it's not like the Vitesse has the aerodynamics of a brick. You can see it's been optimized with neat cable routing, drop seat stays, and a pretty slippery frame design overall. On a flat day, you could always stick some deeper wheels on too.
Yeah, and talking of flat days, where you're riding and what you're likely to encounter is important too. If you live somewhere flat and open, like down there, where you're battling the wind a lot of the time, then an aero bike is ideal. Remember that a lot of the aero savings come from situations where there's a side wind too. It's not just about how hard you can bash it into a headwind. Round here, also, it's pretty lumpy, so you have to balance the gains you'd get on the flat bits down there from the aero profiles with the fact that a lot of the time you'll be grinding up hills like this, where it's not really giving you much help.
And lastly, let's not forget aesthetics. Both of these bikes are great, and you might prefer the chunky, more muscly look of the ZX-1, or you might prefer the classic lines of the Vitesse. Who are we to judge?
Anyway, that about wraps it up for this video. Basically, you can't go wrong with either of these 2 bikes. Check below for a link to the review of both of these bikes on road.cc, and if you've enjoyed this, give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see more videos from us.
We'll see you in summer when it's not glove weather.